What is up, you guys? How is everybody? I hope you're doing well. We're here for our weekly energy oracle forecast. I am excited to report that I ended up getting our full moon workshop up last night, and also the 2026 prediction series is ready for purchase, guys. I'm so proud. I worked on it for 3 months. It is only $12. I thought that would be an affordable price point for just about anybody, hopefully. But yeah, my friend at work was looking at, some of my marketing, and he thought it was going to be like $100 or more. And I was like, it should be. It's worth definitely that much, but I just wanted it to be accessible for everybody. But that is going to be an invaluable tool for the year of 2026 to navigate the year ahead. There's definitely, some very distinguishable rhythms and themes coming up through the year, things that progress and unfold over the months, and things that will circle back around. And there will be challenges, but within those challenges there's also big opportunities. So this is going to be, like I said, an invaluable tool to not only prepare you for the year to come. If you kind of take the workshop ahead of time, it'll give you some insight as to what the first draft script of the year ahead might look like before you start transcending and slaying it. And then it'll be great for you to go back and reference it throughout the year. So you'll have a yearly overview reading that'll give you a look at the year, and then seasonal readings, so quarterly breakdowns. And then you will have monthly readings. And all of that is already available in a playlist, so you can go and watch ahead if you want. And then each one of the videos, the yearly, the quarterlies, and the monthlies, they all have their own journal work that will take you through prompts and questions that will help you embody the messages and the lessons coming through from the reading. So, and then the quarterly ones, there will be separate questions for each of the seasons. So this is a very thorough, in-depth workshop. I'm really proud of it. And I truly believe that if you not only watch the video, I think it's going to be life-changing. If you watch the workshop, it's going to make all the difference in the year ahead. But I think it could be truly life-changing and deeply transformative if you add that extra layer of the journal work into. So again, you can change your life for less than a craft cocktail, guys. $12 is less than one drink anymore. So do yourself a favor and hop on that. Selling like Cabbage Patch Kids out there. Ooh, creation. I love this for our first week feeling alive within the new year, right? That first week for me in January is always about laying low, feeling the space of the void. You're neither here nor there, kind of coming off the holidays, not quite into the year, but I love to spend the first week of January really reflecting and setting my intentions and visualizing all of my goals and desires for the year to come. This week has been crazy, so I've been getting the workshop up and listed for you guys and trying to put it out on all the different social platforms. And then we had the full moon workshop and final holiday engagements with family. But now I'm in my second week of January, and I feel like I can finally do all my journal work for the year ahead and get into the workshops and do all my ritualing like that. So this is going to be a very creative week. I already feel that sense of wanting to make and create and push forward. But we're being encouraged. Saturn is going to be with us quite a bit this year. Saturn, if not recently, will soon move into Aries. Maybe already did. But that is going to like I'm an Aries, so I feel the impulse of wanting to get out there and start making stuff and take the year by storm and gallop right into that year of the fire horse. But we're still in the last few weeks of the year of the snake. And so Saturn is like, hey, Aries, I know you want to be all impulsive and go, 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 but we need to slow down and be more methodical and more intentional. And I think that slow and steady is going to get us there faster than if we tried to rush out and build Rome in a day, and then we would have missed important elements. So slow down, but continue going, right? We're establishing those good habits now. We're getting that discipline in our system, and we're practicing these new routines, and we are embodying them. We are breaking in the new shoes of that new life, that new routine, that new version of self, so that as we gradually get closer and closer to Aries season and the beginning of the new astrological year, the new elemental year, we're going to start amping up and building that momentum, almost like being like horses at a horse race. It's like we're in our pens and we are ready. We're at the starting line. We're ready for that gate to be open and for, the starter pistol to fire. And we're feeling all that horsepower building and building and building. And so we can't run out of the gate yet. We've got to wait until it's time. But in the meantime, we're preparing. We're walking up to the gate. We're getting our gear on. We're meeting up with our little jockey, commenting on his fun snazzy pants to keep the metaphor going. But we're preparing ourselves. We're doing little steps and we're laying the groundwork, right? All of those little things to lay the groundwork for a project. You think that that'll be something little, it won't take very long. And those are the things that end up taking you on side quests and turning, what you think is going to be an hour ends up being several hours, and it's 5:00 and you haven't stood up and done anything else all day, but you've just been in it. So this is the time. These are the weeks to do all those little things that you think won't take any time, that end up expanding. So use the time wisely, but there's so much creative energy and power right now to utilize it. Utilize it wisely. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, we have fire. I love this. We're getting fired up. We're getting amped up. Fire your engines. Love it. The year of the fire horse. And what do we have down here? The snake. We're shedding the last of that skin. It's funny when everybody at work is like, what's your word of the year? Last year, mine was expansion. And I feel like I was expanding out of my current skin, right? And I wasn't filling in and gaining momentum yet, but I was growing. I was growing my idea for the second platform. I was preparing things that I was going to be working on and executing this year. So I love this. This fire is all of this motivation that's starting to get stoked within us. And there's a lot of cardinal energy at the beginning of this year to really set us off on the right foot. First, we have the cardinal energy of Cancer full moon right off the bat, the first week of the year. So that's fiery starter energy. We have Saturn, the influence of Saturn moving into Aries, which is more cardinal energy. Saturn is a cardinal sign. Is it? Is it one of the cardinal signs? Am I lying? No, it's not a cardinal. No, yes, it is, because there's 4 cardinal signs. And I am all of them except for Capricorn. So I'm Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. But Capricorn has all that starter energy, but they're the most mature of those signs. They're at the end of the zodiac. So they're better at following through, being disciplined. They've mastered that starter energy and then continuing on to have to do actions that are sustainable. Right? Rather than Aries, which is so impulsive and wanting to run out before even thinking. Libra might get excited about the ideas, right? They're all up in their head, but they might stay in that head space and the idea space. Cancer, again, might feel the beginnings of, home projects, starting projects and not finishing them, or feeling like, getting attached very quickly to the early stages of emotional relationships, right? So we get more mature, and when we learn to master those areas of our life and follow through and stick with it. So we've got all of this starter energy. We have, is it Neptune that's changing signs into Aries, and then it's conjunct with Saturn at 0 degrees of Aries, I think like February 19th, like in February. So again, we have a lot of cardinal energy in January. We're going to have another boost of that cardinal energy at 0 degrees of Aries, and that planet moving into Aries, starting major new cycles in February. And then March brings us into Aries season. So we have a lot of luck on our side as far as like the universe giving us a lot of fuel for our fire, for our motivation. But we need to channel that wisely and usefully, and not spin our wheels or chase shiny objects. It's really important that we're intentional and disciplined with our energy and our attention and our time this year. Okay. And what do we have? Okay. Back to the creativity. We have the sacral chakra. This is our second chakra, where the reproductive system is. This is associated with water, with the moon, with our intuition, with the astral realm, with our creativity. So something that this is like also has to do with our appetites, and we store our shame and our guilt here, and that's what can block our creativity. So we want to make sure that we offload feelings of shame and guilt, especially if they are related to anything sexually oriented, because that's the associations of this chakra, of this dimension here. But we are, I feel like the Cancer moon, the full moon that just happened, is really activating our creativity, our intuition. It's getting our wheels turning in that department. So I love it. It's like we've got the water and the fire, and we're making steam. I love it. We're getting ideas off the ground. We're creating. Getting motivated to create the life of our dreams. This is the first, I think, moment, the first opportunity that we've had since we've sort of dismantled our lives over the last couple of years and done this big timeline jump. Like, we jumped timelines last year, and we felt it like the second we entered 2025, with everything just turning topsy-turvy. But I think now this year, it's like we've finally gotten our footing, and now the story is beginning. We're starting to move forward in this timeline. The dust has settled, we're closing out old chapters. So use this next couple of weeks to end your year of the snake wisely. Huge cycles are closing out that aren't coming back again in our lifetime. So it's important that we use this time to get clear on the ways that we have been suffering illusion or being delusional, or we haven't been honest with ourselves. We need to get serious about taking our dreams and making them a reality by taking pragmatic action. Wherever we are blocking ourselves from being proactively from proactively creating our dreams, we need to clean that up, which it could be self-sabotaging habits, it could be limiting beliefs, but whatever that is, all the work that we have been doing on ourselves and all the rest of the stuff that we need to shed, that we don't want to take, we don't want to have hanging over us and influencing us in this next chapter of our life. It's time to shed it. It's time to heal it. It's time to let it go. It's time to leave it in the past. And I think this is going to really give us a lot of clarity around our vision. This is a pretty uniform spread for this week. We have ideas growing and creativity and things that we're beginning to manifest coming into fruition. Seeds are being planted. We're putting a lot of creative energy into the beginning of the year, planting those seeds. Fire of motivation and excitement and hope and enthusiasm, energy, determination, desire. We need to keep this up and not let it dwindle. It's that passion and that excitement and that enthusiasm that really give our manifestations their momentum and gusto. That's the magic sauce. That's the magic juice. When our desire begins to dwindle, our effectiveness and our magical potency also begins to dwindle. So keeping that motivation and that momentum up is going to be key. Really stoking that fire and keeping those embers burning at a low roar, like a nice hot slow burn. Then we have attention to our sacral chakra, right? We want to be watching out for any feelings of shame and guilt that might be hanging over us and affecting our decisions. We need to clean that up and take our sovereignty back from those things. If we have sexual shame, guilt, guilt around maybe like eating, food issues there, that we might want to clean that up or do some healing around that, or revisiting and reprogramming our mind and revisiting limiting beliefs about body issues or like food issues or things that were given to us in our early lives. Fortunately, as we progress in time, I think that the world is getting a lot more healthy around what we consider beauty standards and having room for, so many different shapes and sizes to have their own value and their own beauty and their own unique beauty to them. So I feel in my lifetime, I've seen a total turnaround of attitude towards body types and towards what beauty, what is considered beauty, and appreciating variety and uniqueness, and even age isn't such an issue anymore, right? And so revisiting and reprogramming our perspective around that, letting and being able to shed a lot of our fears and hangups around food and body issues that aren't really, they're not relevant anymore, right? It's not even an issue. It's like if you were obsessed all your life because you thought that this one body type meant having a very skinny yoga body, at one time, you might want to look more curvy now. And all of those body issues might still be swimming around in your subconscious. And you might be ready to just get rid of them. And it's you might still be approaching food and your self-care routines with that same underlying fear that you can shake off now, and you can adopt different habits and feel more freedom and shift your thinking and your approach. And I don't know why I specifically got off on the appetites, right? Because this chakra, when this chakra is out of whack, sometimes it can be reflected in our appetites being out of balance. And sometimes that is in an emotional response to, shame or wounds around our appetites, our sexual appetites, our desires, our identity around those things. That is where that shame builds up, and then it becomes problems in blocking our creativity, blocking our flow and manifestation, but also it messes with our dietary stuff. So it either, creates an urge to overeat or deprive ourselves, and it can be kind of an extreme way. So when we heal these areas, it helps heal those other issues as well. And then healing those issues ties into those chakra associations as well. But overall, I think as we do the healing work, I think that we're going to have a surge in creativity and also just a clarity around our vision, like being able to picture and visualize and articulate what we want to do, but also broadening what we can see possible for ourselves. Right? Expanding our vision of what we feel is possible for us in this life. Or, maybe there are things that we didn't entertain, before. We didn't think they were practical, but maybe we have a different attitude about it now. So definitely expanding our vision, broadening our horizons, but getting even like literally a clearer picture in our head. Like our imagination is increased because we have offloaded all of the stuff in our hard drive that was taking up too much space and slowing down our operating power, right? It's like cleaning out your hard drive and all of a sudden your RAM is working again and your computer is like operating more efficiently and quickly, right? And you're able to like create and do things on your computer more productively because it's not lagging, it's not going slow, it's not buggy, right? This is sort of like our hard drive. And it's the deep subconscious, it's the unconscious. And so it's like all those like caches we need to clear, right? Because we're getting funky, we're getting viruses, we're getting, a little kooky and buggy. So we're ironing all that out. We've got a couple of weeks to really just let things go and purge. And I think we're all feeling it. I think we're all feeling ready to just wash past right out of our hair and move forward and have a new outlook, a new sense of self, and a new relationship with life and the world. And one thing that's going to really help you solidify this transformation is, you guessed it, the 2026 prediction series. That is literally like having a workbook for your soul that is going to be your workbook for the whole year. It's like going to school and getting your textbooks and then getting like those awesome fun, I always loved workbooks. I always thought those were great. So it's like having that, but it's in video form. And I would suggest getting yourself a fun little journal that you're gonna like, writing your notes in. And if you don't have a journal available, you can get a memo book or whatever. But I would say having something set aside just for this work, or other times you do psychological and spiritual work for a journal, but having a journal just for that stuff gives it more sacredness, I think, and it gives the work itself more potency. But there becomes like your journal becomes kind of magical in that. I have a million journals everywhere, so I love a journal. I believe in the power of a journal. But also to taking that, it's a very creative and magical act to take a thought and then bring it into the physical through writing it down or through verbalizing it. Those are very powerful actions to take what was non-existent. It becomes a thought. Then it becomes words and verbalized in its first physicalized form, in the form of sound and words. And then you can take it even further and materialize it into words on a piece of paper, right? And that's bringing it into more and more physicalization that way. And I can tell you, I can give you hours worth of testimony of like crazy miraculous things that happened within moments of like writing things down in my journal. It's crazy. So many times. So I never doubt the power of writing out your intentions and getting them clear and getting them on paper. All right, y'all, that is all for tonight. If you want to get the 2026 prediction series, you can go to my link in the description box below. It'll say to purchase the 2026 prediction series here. That will take you to my Stand Store. The Stand Store is basically just one page of a couple of listings of digital products. 2026 prediction series is on top. I think if you click it, it might give you a little bit more information. There's definitely a descriptor about the product itself, but you'll see it's like $12 and then you'll check out there. It's very easy. It's such a basic storefront that people got confused last year. They were like, where's the menus? Where are the options? I'm like, there aren't any. This is it. That's it. It's just one page. So you'll go to buy now, purchase, download, whatever it says, buy the workshop, and then you can use PayPal or Stripe. And Stripe is a credit card processor. So y'all, I hope you enjoy that. I'm so proud of it. I think it's going to serve you really, really well. Let me know how you're liking it in the comments inside the playlist. And another thing too is that once you purchase, it will email you the link to a private playlist on my channel. And I will ask you, if you purchase, please do not share the playlist with other people. I am a poor, starving artist, and I have put 3 months into this workshop. So do me a solid and just don't steal it from me. Please. Oh, $12. All right, you guys. Peace. Ciao.